it is Mine After Midnight, so we do have to talk psychedelics. Do you have a psychedelic history, my friend?
Oh yeah, so I hope everyone finds the beauty within, for real. Definitely appreciate everybody for tuning in. Brick, what's up? What's up, Brick? What's going on with you?
Big facts, big facts. I see you got your people in the building already. So we got a lot to cover. I'm going to go ahead and get the party started. You know what I'm saying? I go by the name of Hood Buddha. You guys are on the Mine After Midnight platform. This is a creative platform, really created for creatives that are on a spiritual journey. And honestly, tonight's guest is... Honestly, I gotta thank you because
No words.
This is turned into a series just from you, reaching out just to chop it up and stuff like that. And we've had some other people show interest and stuff too. So I appreciate you for motivating me to, keep the conversation going.
Yeah, no worries.
But I'm not gonna, hold back folks too much. Like I said, my name is Hood Buddha. We have Machexe in the building. Machexe, how you feeling today?
I feel good. It's lit.
I know that's right. So first things first, I think you have a very creative name, you know what I'm saying? So tell me about your name, Machexe, like what that means to you and how it's significant to you as an artist.
So Machexe just means pretty much what it says in the Bible about it being a power in the tongue. So that's why I chose that name, Machexe, because I know that words can speak life or death. So it's just, up to me what I choose.
Oh, okay. So you spend that life or that death?
Sometimes both. I ain't even gonna lie. I'm trying to, it's a battle every day. What's good, right? But yeah, it's a battle every day. You know what I'm saying? But more so these days, I'm definitely speaking life.
No, I love that. I was looking for that answer because a lot of people think like the spiritual journey is all like kittens and hugs and warm feelings, but like that's exactly why I go by the name Hood Buddha. My wife gave me that name, but it represents that duality of like, I'm on the journey. I'm here, just like you, trying to do better things. But I mean, it can still turn up. So
already, like for real, already.
Oh, shout out be the plug. I see everybody joining in. So let everybody know where you from, where you grew up. Tell us a little bit about you.
Oh yeah, so I grew up in Newport News, Virginia. Born and raised in Newport News, Virginia. Spent some time in Colorado. I be all over for real. I touch bases with everything.
I know that's right. Shout out to the 7-5, you know what I'm saying? Big VA love. I'm in LA, but VA is the home team, so we always gotta hold it down. So you are an artist. Like, how did you get into music? Like, what is your story? Was there someone that inspired you or something that inspired you to start writing and using your pen?
I want to say my older sister, she wrote poems all the time. So I started off just writing poetry like when I was in, I want to say like 6th grade. I was super young. And then my mom, she was super Christian, never let us listen to rap music. So then I heard, I think it was like Bout It. Like nasty, and then I was like super turned after that. I was like, oh no, I gotta get with this, so then I started writing raps after that, but I didn't start recording myself until like I want to say like 5 or 6 years ago, when I really started like really recording myself.
Yeah, okay, so I need to know, like, as someone who grew up kind of in that Christian background, and your first hip hop song is Bout It. Yeah. I know how it make me feel today.
Yeah.
What came over you at that moment when you first heard that, John?
Oh yeah, so I was with my uncle. My uncle, he definitely about that life, and I asked him what that meant, and I was like, I'm like, what that mean? Like, what does it mean to be about it? And he was like, just down. Are you down? And then after that, I promise you, it just I was sneaking, listening to like music, like let me, I really just resonated with the music,
Big facts. I love that, man. I don't even remember what my first hip hop record was. Gosh, That makes me sound way older than I actually am. But my mom is a hip hop head, so she had me rapping like Slick Rick and stuff by the time I was 2. So I think that's dope. I can only imagine what that experience was like, especially for Master P in that time. You got some fans in here too. They said that you speaking that wisdom. So we just
Oh
getting
yeah,
started.
yeah, that's my homegirl Ray. What's up, Ray?
Shout
Hell
out to
yeah, what's
Ray,
going
man.
on? What's up, Lupe? But yeah, these are people I was locked up with. I was locked up with Ray, and I was locked up with Lupe too.
Okay, what's up then?
Yeah,
Shout out to
yeah,
y'all holding it down 10 toes. We definitely gonna get into that part of your journey too. Because, I can definitely understand how that's, can pivot you into a spiritual transformation.
yeah.
But first things first, we just play some heat from you. It's not out yet. You actually
No,
just slipped me this record
uh,
today, and
uh,
it's called Had to Go Crazy.
yeah.
Tell us more about this joint and when we can get this.
Man, so I wrote this because I ain't even gonna lie. Like in the last year, I really felt like I was losing my mind. Like I pretty much got out. Like this is just me being transparent. I got lit into healing. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like
Okay.
pretty much I got. You know what I'm saying? So someone made it seem like what I was saying wasn't what was going on. So I started going to therapy, and I'm just like, I was just expressing myself, with my therapist and everything. And, when your therapist just be quiet, she ain't gonna really say too much. You just what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I want to say, like, I didn't even get into therapy for me. I got into therapy for someone else, and it just ended up working. You know what I'm saying? So this is why I wrote that song, because I really had felt like I was spiraling. I had like all of my triggers from prison came to pass like within this last like couple months. I was being very obsessive. I was spiraling. I was doing pretty much everything that I would do in prison. But in prison I was locked down for like 23-1, so you can do that by yourself. But I was doing this in the free world. Like I could not get my mind like out of this box, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I wrote.
Okay, I definitely feel that. So, for the people that don't know, how old were you when you went to prison?
So I was 18.
Okay, dang. And then, how long was that experience?
So it was 6 years.
Listen, you're a trooper right there. You know what I'm saying? And so for you, because I'm hearing everything you're saying as far as like kind of like a relapse of symptoms, because prison can kind of give you like a form of PTSD and things like that.
Yeah.
Has music been therapeutic for you as well in that aspect?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, even it's crazy because I wrote so much music when I was in, and I have never released that music just because I was in a different mindset as soon as I got out. Like when I was in, I was still writing 18-year-old me music. When I got out, I seen how the world changed, and I was like, yeah, there's no reason for me to release this.
Okay, yeah. So you were kind of like a whole different person from this.
Yeah.
So you couldn't even. I went through something very similar. I hear a lot of like parallel experiences in our journeys. Because I used to go by Miss Proper. That's what everybody knows me. That's why everybody calls me Prop. But like there literally got to a point where like I did not connect with Miss Proper and the music I was putting out as Prop and stuff. And it was good stuff. Like it was a fun time. I wouldn't change it for the world. But that's just not who I am anymore. So I definitely understand that. So with that being said, then like where is your ear musically as far as like people that you like to listen to?
I'm gonna be honest and say I don't listen to nobody but me now. Like I more so listen to motivational speakers. I listen to Eric Thomas. I listen to a lot of Reverend Ike. Like I don't listen to no music these days for real. I listen to like a lot of like just positivity. That's it. You
over there manifesting that bag with that Ike. I already know.
100%. You already know. Like no games played at all. I'm not playing no games this year. Like
big facts. I love that. So with that, since you don't really like, I guess listen to the mainstream music, what is your overall opinion of the state of music right now? Like the commercial stuff that we hear.
I'm not even gonna lie, to creativity, like I have her Yeats music, and I do like how he is just different. He ain't really saying too much, but his sound is different. I don't know. I can say I really like just artists in general. I love art, so I'm never gonna knock anyone. Like if you underground or commercial, if you fire, you fire. You know what I'm saying? So.
Got you. So it's all about kind of, I guess, the creative
Yeah,
approach for you. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I can feel that too, because I mean, you don't have to be like the most lyrical person to make an impact and be creative. And then there's also people that are super lyrical and they're boring as hell. So, like,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I totally feel you on that. So back to you and music for you and your spiritual, transformation. So, would you say that music is kind of like a spiritual practice for you?
Definitely 100%. That's what I was trying to post today, but IG was tripping. And everything that I have wrote in my raps, it has came to pass. And I'm like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just be sometimes feeling like this is too crazy. Like, I didn't even really want this. That's what made me stop rapping about certain stuff. Because the certain stuff I thought I wanted, and then when I got it, I was like, I don't want this. you know?
It's crazy,
Yeah.
right? So for you, when you're realizing that like you actually manifested something you didn't want,
Yeah.
what happens then? Is it kind of helping you realign to what the goal is? You know what I'm saying? Like for me, in the beginning as an artist, it sounds like we want to be the biggest artist and we want to be like the next Jay-Z and this and that. But the actual goal is to have stability and a nice house and be able to take care of our family, right? And we don't necessarily have to like be a freaking, you know what I'm saying, Tom, you know what I'm saying, to make that happen. So shout out to the homie Kier. That's realist. They messing with you in there. Yeah. So, again, so is that just like kind of shifting the perspective of what the actual goal is for you out of all of this?
Definitely, because now I'm only putting out music that puts me along the lines of where I want to be in my path. I'm not going, because usually I used to rap about freestyles and I'd be like, oh yeah, this be, that be, and but now, since like some of that stuff has came to pass and I've been like, I don't want you. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, so now I'm only like, you know what I'm saying? I'm only like, that's what that song is about too. Like, universe on my side. Like, for real, you know what I'm saying? Because other than that, I don't want anything else but what is for me. You know what I'm saying? That's it. I don't want no temporary anything. Like, none of that.
Oh, you need to put that on a t-shirt. I don't want no temporary anything on. That's on period.
Yeah.
So, like, being an artist then and striving to have that success, how do you stay grounded through the mainstream expectations? Like, how do you not get lost into chasing the hit record and staying true to yourself?
I feel like I did that for so long. Now I don't care. And I wanted to post about this earlier. When you lose, like, I lost a person that supported me to death. You know what I'm saying? And when I lost that, I realized that I don't care what nobody got to say about my music. I don't care about chasing anything. I'm chasing sense of purpose. I'm not chasing what you guys are chasing. Like, yes, I want to get to that bag, but I'm chasing more so purpose. You know what I'm saying? This is my purpose, so...
Okay, I like that. So expand on that a little bit, because I feel like, all of us as musicians, it's within our purpose, but what exactly are you doing with the music? You know what I'm saying? Is it to enhance how people feel? Is it to cultivate community and bring people together? What is it?
Yeah, most definitely. It's definitely to cultivate community. More so, I feel like I make music for my people, my tribe, the warriors, like people who's been through prison or people who have like... just like mental, and I don't want to say I have a mental illness. You know what I'm saying? But just people who deal with mental struggles, like they're unworthy of certain things. So when I like rap, I just put it into your head, like, one of my songs is like, you are a warrior. You know what I'm saying? So every day you gotta throw on your armor. Every day this is a battle. You know, it's just self. You know what I'm saying? You throwing on that armor for you.
Damn, so it's almost like your songs are like affirmations in a way.
Yeah, definitely.
Like. I told you the song "War On." Like you had that lyric, my Lord, you gotta open doors. If not, I'm using force. Like that is my life. Like,
no,
God,
for real.
please open this door because I don't want to have to kick it in. Yeah. So like I resonate with that so much.
No, facts.
So let's talk a little bit more about your experience in prison. I do want to say they already put you on blast in the chat and they said you was losing at space. Would you like to clear your name?
Cap. Lupe is up here capping. Lupe, you know I had all your stamps. Come on now. Lupe is up here capping. You know what I'm saying? I won't go say nothing. I seen it too, but she up here capping. But yeah,
big cap.
But like, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
But no, I'm just gonna say, yo, I met the dopest people in prison. Like, the dopest people. It's so crazy. I met some dope people in there.
Yeah, okay. So, again, you say you were 18 when you first went into the system, and I did my own, I'm a Gemini, so I did my own little research first, and I understand you kind of made like a transition from the military when you became incarcerated. So, kind of walk us through that experience, being so young, you know, kind of, everybody seems like the military is like that point of stability for a lot of Americans. And then you're an adult, you're in jail. Like, what was that like the first time you're in there looking around?
So I'm gonna say the transition between, like, of course, like I got into the military right after high school. I was 17, and I only got into the military because my uncle, he was in the Marines, and he knew I didn't want to go to college. So he's like, you need to get into the military. But really, I should have followed my dream. You know what I'm saying? So I get enlisted into the Air Force. I'm in the Air Force for about a year, and then I get stationed in Colorado. When I'm in Colorado, I'm going through hella financial difficulties. So I go back to what I know, the streets. So I get greedy with it, though, because I continue to do it even outside of, like, my financial difficulties. I end up getting caught up. So the transition between, like, the military and prison, I'm going to say it wasn't that rough just because the military is a prison. You know, like, yeah, I'm not going to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't trying to say it like that. Like, yeah, of course you got a bit of freedom or whatever, but you don't have, like, when I went into the military, they had that don't ask, don't tell law. And I know I've seen a lot of people get, like, kicked out of the military just because they were gay. And I was full-fledged gay, you know, but I just hung with men a lot. So, you know what I'm saying? They were like, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? I didn't hang with a lot of females. I hung with men, you know, so.
But, you know, there's like a double standard with that, too. Like, we see it all the time, you know what I'm saying? Not to get too off track, but especially with, like, you know, how the military was. It's like gay men weren't as accepted, but like we could be like men down to the boxer briefs, and it's like we sometimes don't have to face certain things. You know, there's people that have their own ignorance, of course, but that's definitely something different. So you said something really important that I want a lot of our people, you know what I'm saying, to kind of take heed to. You said you were good. You know, you went back to the streets out of a need for survival, which is completely understandable. But then you got to a point where you were good and you still kind of had that desire and that greed and chasing that fast money. So do you feel like your experience in prison kind of helped you also revisit your relationship with greed or abundance and your necessity for the material?
Hell yes, because when I went to prison, let me just tell you, I didn't have anything. Like, yo, I was in jail first. The first week in jail, I couldn't remember no one's number. So therefore, I didn't have anything because I couldn't remember. You know, my mind was so like in a shock state. I could not like think of anyone's number to call, anything like that. So therefore, it was like I went from this abundant life to not even having enough money for soap.
How is that for you? Do you feel like that's like a humbling experience? Me personally, it would probably eventually humble me, but I'm gonna be pissed off
Yeah.
first. I'm gonna be real.
I ain't even gonna lie, like I slept for days. Like I slept so much, one of my roommates woke me up and was like, you gonna have to get up and call somebody. We gotta call, because they knew I was young, so one of my roommates, they got me up and they were like, I'm gonna call my mom and you're gonna figure out what your people's number is. We're going to call someone, because like I was so like depressed that like I was just gone. Like mentally I was gone. Like I don't even remember like what I was thinking at all, because I knew it's like, what did you call your mom and say? I'm in Colorado, she's in Virginia. I know my mom's situation. My mom has 3 other children. She's a single parent. I was in the military. I was one of her providers. What do I call? Like, I don't even want to speak to her. What do I say?
Yeah, I could definitely see how that could kind of put you in that cycle of depression, because on top of now having to face the guilt for like maybe your own actions, you know what I'm saying? Now, like you said, you're your mom's provider, so you can't get soap, and then your moms need support. Like, that's a lot of pressure. Are there resources for inmates within the system when they're falling into these kind of cycles of depression and whatnot?
So no, they do have something in this. Like, what the hell is it called? It starts with an I. They do have something where they give you like 2 stamps and a bar of soap. But as far as mental health, when I was in Colorado Springs, I was in a jail called CJC in Colorado Springs. A woman killed herself with a hard bread roll and it was. I was 18 going through and looking at situations from a whole different what's it called, indigent. Yeah, go ahead, go off, Ray. Yeah, she helped me out. But as far as like mental health services, no, they going to experiment with pills. They'll give you some pills all day, and to me, that you're just an experiment to them. But they're not going to really like help you as a person to figure out what you are going through and try to understand that.
Right. Man, so, okay, first of all, very unfortunate situation for inmates to even be, committing, those types of acts against themselves. I mean, if anything else, there should be some kind of support there. I mean, we're still human beings. Second of all, that bread was crazy hard. Like,
yo, the bread was always hard. That's what's so crazy about it. It's like, yo, I have no idea how I survived that. Like, none. You know what I'm saying? People always say, like, you're stronger than me. But I wasn't. I wasn't. You know what I'm saying? I have no idea how I survived it.
I mean, because you said it, you're a warrior. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely understand that. And then to your point, as far as how they distribute medication, immediately in my head, I think about the term medical apartheid. And, back in the day, they used to experiment on our people and do whatever they wanted. But now, of course, as we know, everything's just transitioned to the prison system. So would you say it's still kind of those things going on? They're just doing it behind the walls of the prison because maybe people will lack empathy for people behind those walls.
Oh yeah, most definitely. As well as when you are in prison, you want to escape, so you don't care what they give you. They can give you whatever, anything. You know what I'm saying? You'll gladly take that just because it's like the prison that me and Ray was in. It was 23-1, so it was 23-hour lockdown. So you in the cell with your cellie that you may not even like. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it's hard, so of course you're like, yeah, they're gonna give you something, then come on, I'm gonna take it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because you gotta pacify your time in a way, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
So was music or writing like an outlet for you while you were locked up?
Yeah, most definitely. Like music and poetry, that was all outlets for me when I was locked up. I have all my journals. I got about, I want to say 7 journals that I wrote the whole time I was in prison. So yeah, sometimes I go back through those just to see what my thoughts were. But yeah, it helped a lot.
Oh, you might have to publish those. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Get your Tupac, a Rose, and a Concrete on. You know what I'm
I
saying?
know,
So
for real.
people can witness that transformation. It's a lot
For
of
real.
people that go through it. I can resonate with a lot. Granted, I've never spent that amount of time behind the walls, but a couple days is enough to understand
Oh
it's not for
yeah,
me. And
definitely.
what you know
Oh
what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like,
You don't gotta tell me, definitely. One day is too long.
I think I'm gonna change my life. So now I definitely get that. So with prison, like, what do you feel like you learned the most from that experience?
Um, I definitely learned how to walk on my own, stand on my own 2 feet. I definitely learned that. That's what the experience taught me. It definitely taught me how to discern people. It definitely taught me to listen more than I speak.
Mm. I like that. Okay, so with the listening before you speak, how does that impact you as a lyricist? Because that's all we do is talk, you know what I'm saying? So,
It's a time and a place though for everything. That's what I feel about it as a lyricist. Like I don't know. Like when I was younger, I loved to talk. Like you know what I'm saying. But now I think I realize that a lot of people are in a hurt place, and it's not beneficial to me right now to talk my talk. It's beneficial for me to like help people. You know them to conquer themselves.
yeah. Okay, bet. So with that, obviously, then you have this transformation. You have to transition back home. How was that for you as far as your relationships, going back and, looking at your environment, trying to stay out of certain situations, things like that?
So I was in a halfway house for a year and a half. And so I had you know what I'm saying? I had some money saved up. And I was super excited to like see my mom. I hadn't seen my mom since I didn't see my mom the whole time I was down. So from 18 to 25, I hadn't seen my mom. So I was super excited to get here. And I'm gonna say everything that I said I wasn't gonna do, I did. Like I was like, oh, I'm not gonna party, I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna do that. Everything I said I wasn't gonna do, I did. I went out and party, I went out and spent money, I went out and bought the cars. You know what I'm saying? I kept a job and everything, but a lot of the things that I did, I feel like wasn't on the lines of my path, and so eventually I got tired. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay. So what would you say really took you then to that full kind of pivotal moment? Because I can understand that, like, kind of having one foot in, one foot out, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, drinking makes you feel like trash, but you're still going out with the homies. Or, maybe you shouldn't get in that car, but, it's such and such from around the way and things like that. Like, what really became like your final kind of breaking point?
So one night, me, my best friend, and my brother, we had went out. We was lit. We was super drunk. And then we was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? My best friend was like, oh yeah, let's go to this after hour spot. So we go to the after hour spot, and for some reason, the security started tripping on us at the after hour spot. And I'm still on parole at this time, just, you know what I'm saying? So the security started tripping on us at the after hour spot. So we get into an argument, and as we go to leave the after hour spot, they shoot up the car with me, my brother, and my best friend in it. And my best friend, he's the one that's driving. He ends up crashing the car, and this is a car that I had just bought. You know what I'm saying? So he ends up crashing the car in like a ditch. So the passenger side doors, we can't get out. So on my door side, I can't get out. My brother's in the back seat. So we end up, we end up getting out of the car. We end up running, blah, 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 police, etc. Like, just too much. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, I'm too grown for this. Like, so, and it ends up being a gun in my car. My PO calls me, it was like, I was just like, I cannot believe, but that was God. It was like, oh, you ain't gonna stop? oh, I'm gonna make you stop. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, that situation really made me sit down and be like, my mom could have lost both of her children that night over arguments, petty.
And that's kind of like the transition that I think like the world is in. Like even when I look in our communities and stuff like that, it's a lot of people, it's a lot of homies that I'm talking, I might talk to somebody back home and we got to keep saying RIP because we're losing people for the dumbest stuff. Like back in the day, people used to just run the fade, have a fight, call it a day. The worst is you might get jumped.
Yeah.
But like now it's like, oh, you cut me off in traffic, I'm going to shoot you. It's just like, and the crazy part is like people don't even realize that that's actually feminine energy. They think that they're being tough and masculine, but it's a lack of emotional control that even makes you respond that way, which is, respect to my ladies, but that's a feminine trait. You know what I'm saying? So that's crazy. So present day, like what do you do to get yourself out of any slumps or ruts or keep yourself out of those kind of negative cycles?
I really be chilling, but like I don't go out. You know what I'm saying? I go to the gym. I go on nature walks, go on trails, things like that. When I do shows, I'm very aware of what's going on. You know what I'm saying? I am very aware. Like I know where the exits are in this mug, all of that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I really feel like now I place myself around genuine people. And I'm never going to an after hour spot again. That's for sure.
Man, I went to an after hour spot one time in Richmond with my friends, and it was like some BDSM stuff in the corner. People was doing cocaine. It was all types of stuff. That was my first and last after hour spot. If it's not a kickback at the homie house, I think I'm good as well.
Yeah, for sure, for real, like.
But you touched on something super important, and you were talking about really quick your connection to nature. And I actually noticed in your bio it says like nature and rap. So nature is obviously a part of like your mental health regimen and stuff like that. Do you like do grounding and like meditation and stuff out in our Mother Earth?
Yeah, definitely. So I have this trail that I always walk, and it's like I want to say it's 10 miles. And what I do is I can only think positive on this trail. And sometimes I take something with me to leave on the trail, and I say, like, if it's something negative, I will like say, you can only think about this negative thing here. You can't think about it outside of this place, so when it comes up, you're like, I just tell myself, well, you ain't at the spot where you can think about this negative thing at all, so yeah, it definitely helps me a lot with grounding.
Bet. It looked like we got a request here. We got a couple more questions, and then I'll let you get on, my man, so you can ask any questions to Machexe. Anybody else that wants to jump on, and we'll leave some time on the end if y'all want to join. Just a couple more questions, because it is mine after midnight, so we do have to talk psychedelics.
Okay.
Do you have a psychedelic history, my friend?
Oh yeah. So I never did anything as far as psychedelics until I got out, and I want to say I really enjoyed like my first couple experiences. I want to say at first I only had like three experiences on psychedelics, and it just really opened up my mind. Like at first I didn't know what I was taking it for, and then when I took it, it made me feel like I was just one with me. Like it just like you can't even explain. Like that's why I try to explain this to people who haven't took it before, but it just makes you feel like every step you're taking is meant. Like where you are today is destined, like.
Yep. So if you could summarize that feeling in one or two words, what would you say for someone who's totally naive to psychedelics? You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna say you're gonna have to experience it for yourself, because I know what I felt like on psychedelics, but it is hard for me to explain it to anyone else. You know what I'm saying? Because maybe other people have their own. Because different trips, because I have heard a person be like, well, I really didn't do anything for me, or I was just awake and that was it, or I was just yawning, or I was just like my eyes were watering. So I'm gonna say you definitely just gotta experience it for yourself, because to me it's like I guess you could say it's like a gift from God.
I love that. It really is.
Yeah.
It's one of the most profound experiences you can have if you're ready for it.
Yeah.
The shroom yawns, oh man, I get the yawns something terrible.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that, what's one thing that you wish you would have known before you had like your first like intense journey?
One thing I wish I would have known. I don't know. Just because I feel like when I wish I would have known I was a bit broken. I guess you could say that, because I didn't like, I promise you, like when I got out of prison and I was being offered therapy, I would literally go in my therapist's office and be like, I'm good. I'm just here to do my hours, because I have to be here. But like the psychedelics, it made me realize I was really broken, because sometimes I would take them and I would be so happy and cry all day. I'd be like, yo, what is going on? Like, I don't even know. Like, what I'm saying?
Why are they like that though? I could be playing 2K off shrooms and just balling like, oh no, I'm good though.
Yo, for real, you know what I'm saying? So
it's like, you're not okay. Actually, the inner child is not okay.
Exactly.
So do you have any experience with microdosing? And for those who are not familiar, microdosing is when you just take like a minimal amount of, we're talking about psychedelic mushrooms, so psilocybin. Some people kind of taper it maybe once every 3 or 4 days. Is that something that you've experienced?
Yeah, so I have occasionally took microdose, and I want to say on the microdose, and that's when I realized that I was broken, when I would take some and be like, today's my day off and I just want to relax, and I'm just stay up and do a little bit of gardening or whatever. That's when I realized that something was wrong. Yeah, because I'm having a great day and I'm crying all day. Like, who does that?
Yeah. Because you sounded like you really needed that like form of release as well.
Yeah.
Which mushrooms can really do, because like as you've already explained, it will, one, show you what you need to be exposed to, and then two, show you what you were feeling that you didn't even know you were feeling. So I do think it's dope that now in our kind of healthcare system, we're starting to see, more spaces where people can come into like a clinic with like a nurse practitioner, and then they have a therapist with them. Obviously there's always room for improvement in those spaces. Like, we definitely need to make it more affordable. But so are you like pro like psychedelic clinic? You think we should be able to just walk in like, hey, I'm here for my psychedelic appointment so I can process my shit, or what?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, 100%. I feel like they have all these other medications out, so why not? And I do feel like it truly does help. It truly does help you do the work on yourself that needs to be done.
For sure. And then more importantly, like one thing I like about the spaces are a lot of times they'll let you do like group sessions, so you can kind of have a journey with other people who have also had the experience, and it feels very communal. Would you say that, just from your personal experience, that maybe psychedelics and this kind of approach, this group approach, could also be a form of like community healing or generational healing?
Yeah, most definitely. The last trip I did was with 2 other people, and I want to say what they did during our trip, it was very healing, and it was like it was nuts. So we were all tripping, and we were pretty much like, it was 2 of us, or it was 3 of us, and we were pretty much like rotating each other from like, it was like we were doing a hug session. So I was trying not to do this so much. So I didn't want to be like in the hug session at all. So, I kept trying to postpone it. Like, oh no, I'm good. Because I already knew what the outcome was going to be. So we ended up doing a hug session, and I could not stop crying. It was like, y'all, I felt so bad because like the tears were like literally would not stop. Like no matter what I did, I tried to. Like I was crying over the Trolls movie. That's how much I was like could not stop crying. At the end of the Trolls movie, we were watching that, and I was like literally like crying. Like
so it's like the hug you always needed. It sounded like, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And I'm not here to judge. I mean, I don't tell people this, but I'm going to share it since we're being vulnerable. There's an episode of Rugrats that always gets me, right? So it's this one where Stu is Tommy's dad. He's gone a lot or something was wrong with him, but all I know is my man Tommy just starts bawling, crying. He's like, I miss my daddy. And I got repressed father issues. Yeah. Every time I'd be like, me too, Tommy. I got you.
Thanks, for real. It's okay.
So then, do you feel like psychedelics kind of make you more vulnerable as a person and a creative?
Yeah, most definitely. And it's the vulnerability that I need, because people who know me, they know, like, even though I joke a lot, I don't smile a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, I will tell a joke with a straight face, and most people don't even think I'm joking. They'll be like, what? You know what I'm saying?
You got the quiet.
They think I'm being right. They think I'm being an a-hole or something, but no. But, like, I'm the most joking person. But, yeah, I want to say, like, yeah, psychedelics, it definitely makes you vulnerable, and it makes you vulnerable to a point where you really don't care. It's a release.
Yeah, big facts. Man, I've enjoyed this convo. I feel like I'm being stingy, though, because we got Cara here that's been waiting, so we're about to throw Cara on.
Okay.
What's going on?
What's up, Cara?
Accept this, John. I can't do group. Yeah, I know I'm getting older. I thought we could have more than one person on this job. All right, my bad, Cara. You might have to throw your question up in the chat then.
Any question that you got?
I swear I thought that you could have multiple people on this Joker, though, but it's all good. All right, cool. All right, well, man, is there anything we haven't covered yet that, you know what I'm saying, you want to touch base on? Moon said that she glad that she caught the conversation. I'm glad you caught this conversation, me too, man. But yeah, is there anything you want to touch base on? She said that I can. See, hold up. What I'm doing wrong, y'all? Invite to join. No, we're not doing that. Maybe he left. All right. Well, that's all right. If he really wanted, he'll be back. But yeah, again, my bad. Getting distracted, you know what I'm saying? TikTok tells me I might have ADHD. I'm not sure yet, but no, I'm just kidding. But is there anything we haven't covered? Is there like a question like I missed that, like, you know what I'm saying?
No, I feel like we touch bases on everything. Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, again, I have to thank you humbly because, again, this has turned into a series of conversations that we're going to have with different creatives. Love to bring you back, you know what I'm saying, as you continue to release things and, you know what I'm saying, just chop it up. It's very easy to talk. Let's see what we got here. It says, I love this. So happy we're having this conversation. That's my wife.
Who's that?
Appreciate her, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, shout out to you, for real. She definitely told me that you helped her through her process. So hell yeah, shout out to you.
Yeah, man, I would not be where I am today without God in my life. I will just say that, you know what I'm saying? All right, so before we get out of here then, let us know, like, what you got coming up, where we can find you. I know you got a show coming up in, like, Denver and stuff, so go ahead, this your opportunity, plug everything right now.
Okay, so I got a song coming out that was played at the beginning of this June 2nd, and I have a show in Atlanta on the 20th. And the details probably going to be in my bio soon. So I have another show in Denver. I'm about to turn it up there. That's where I was locked up at. So all my people's going to be there. So that is on the 3rd, June 3rd. I mean, I'm on everything. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. I'm on everything. I have songs released everywhere. I've been releasing music for 5 years now. So I'm on everything.
Yeah, you out here getting it.
Yeah.
So if y'all haven't already, please make sure you follow Machexe, dropping a lot of dope content, a very intentional artist. So before I let you go, I gotta ask you one last question. I decided this is gonna be my signature question. So everyone's gonna get this now. I have a signature question now. All right, so what advice would you give to your inner child?
It's so crazy because I feel like I've been talking to my inner child way more these days, and the advice that I would give is, everything is going to be okay. Like literally, like I feel like it's crazy because today I was literally just apologizing to my inner child, like, I'm sorry for all the things that I put you through, so. Yeah, because I tend to be a sort of a people pleaser, and I will put people over me, but now I'm putting myself over people, and it is very hard to do for me sometimes. But yeah, just doing that work, everything's gonna be okay.
I know. Oh, that's right. And I appreciate you for being vulnerable and talking to us today. And if I could say anything, if your inner child's anything like mine, they'll always forgive us. They just, if anything, they just want us to be happy. So I think, what I'm saying, that advice is incredible.
Yeah.
And then it says, I literally always say that it's going to be okay. No, she really will. Yeah. Everything. It could be like a fire. She'll be like, it's okay. It's all right. And I'm like, is it? All right, fine. All right. So, man, I really appreciate you. We're going to put this up everywhere. For everybody else that's been tuning in, we are definitely going to continue to do these conversations. I'm going to announce another guest next week. And again, make sure you follow Machexe. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. And for real, my G, like, you came a long way. You really doing a lot of dope shit. So be proud of yourself. Real soft.
Thank you. Same to you.
All right. Peace. We out.